Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of EETV, where I strive to bring everything in entertainment. And I put up a comment a while back, and the comment reads, and you can see in the picture here from the post that I put down, is I stated that if Batman and Superman swap cities for 6 months, crime would be non-existent, almost non-existent, in Metropolis and Gotham. And this can be proven not through the comics, but through the DC animated universe, the Superman the animated series, Batman the animated series, which fed into the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and also the movie, the Batman and Superman movie, which all ties in together. That slew of shows that I just mentioned is the proof that if Batman and Superman swap cities for 6 months, a half a year, that crime would be non-existent in both Gotham and Metropolis. And here is why. I'm going to find evidence of all this. In the movie, when Batman is looking for the Joker and he's tracking him down, he comes across one of the thugs that used to be in Gotham City. And when he runs across Batman, he states specifically that he came to Metropolis to get away from Batman. So that should tell you something right there. A criminal would leave Gotham to get away from Batman, to deal with a superhero that could be that has been compared to the Olympian gods. So that should tell you something right there. How much fear he strikes into the criminals. And remember the special where, well, it's not a special, it was 2 episodes where Superman, he took over for Batman because Batman was missing because his mind was infiltrated by nanotechnology, and Gotham was almost at a blaze, but Superman filled him for him when they couldn't locate Batman for like a month. And how Superman was able just to clean up his villains, within a snap. Those episodes that I just mentioned and all them shows, it proves that if they swap cities. So how effective is the Justice League really? Only in those shows that I mentioned, not the comic books and not the other movies, just the DC animated universe that contains Superman animated series, Batman animated series, the Justice League Unlimited, and that movie that tied in everything as well, the Batman and Superman movie that was inside the that fed into the Justice League as well. That Batman, that version of Batman, that version of Superman, yes, they're not doing their best for that Earth, because that's the proof right there. If they switch time, oh my goodness, man, that they are not utilizing themselves effectively. They are not. In that animated universe, they are absolutely not. Because you can see how Batman was able to just take care of Bane. Superman was able to take care of Bane faster than Batman could. And then you see how Batman, on that one episode, and multiply, he in the movie and the one episode where he escapes the bonds and not tricks, but he appeals to the Ultra Humanite about his character, and he's able to outsmart who's supposedly the smartest intellect in that universe, which is Lex Luthor. So and Luthor's ego got the best of him, and Batman was able to exploit that. So you can see now all the comments there, and you see the pictures how like the Joker can't handle Superman. Superman can't handle the Joker, and Lex got it over Batman. You are confusing when you put those. You are thinking of different iterations of the Joker, different iterations of Superman and Batman. Because we're not talking about in Justice League Joker. No. We're not talking about in Justice League Superman. No, we're not. We're only speaking about what the YouTuber here, he posted in his video showing Batman outsmarting everybody in this one episode, and there are other episodes to prove it as well, and we're going to take a deep dive into it. Now, in further analysis of the deep dive, remember in Justice League Unlimited when Batman was versing Batman from the Justice Lords, and he has that realization that the Batman from the Justice Lords is correct about his assessment about no 8-year-old boy losing their parents to a punk with a gun. That had a significant impact on the main Batman. Now, the Justice Lords went about doing this in the incorrect way, but seeming as they were down Flash and they were going about having an iron grip and having a more proactive approach. If Superman and Batman were to swap cities for 6 months, like I stated previously, they would be a lot more effective. Now, I'm going to get the main things and just address them right now. Now, we're only talking about the DCAU. So I already know off the bat, Batman in Metropolis, he would have difficulty somewhat with Bizarro, but seeming as prep time, he'll be able to handle him. But he would have some slight difficulty with Bizarro. But he would also have difficulty with Darkseid, of course, Mongo, Brainiac, and any sort of natural disasters that happen to hit Metropolis at the time. Those are the main things. But if they were to focus their efforts when they swap cities, would be on crime and villains that follow organized crime, mafia, or other villains that are looking to cause chaos in Metropolis, like the Mafia, Toyman, somewhat with Intergang, and Lex Luthor. They would be very effective. Now, when it comes to the other side of the spectrum, Superman in Gotham City. Now, we've seen this before, like I previously stated in the video, when he had to take Superman's place when Brainiac used the nanotechnology to invade Bruce Wayne's mind. Superman, let's be honest, Superman would only have difficulty with the Joker because the Joker is such a wild card, yes, pun intended, that he would have Superman on the ropes for a while. So they would have to come up with a contingency plan together to overcome threats that neither hero could deal with alone. And I know partly that's Batman feels that Gotham is he thinks and he knows that Gotham is his responsibility, and he doesn't want anybody to muscle in on his responsibility. But if the mission is going to be complete, both Batman and Superman have to take a different stance, and they have to be more proactive. Now, I know they're not trying to be the law like the police, and they have to somewhat be reactionary instead of proactive, so they don't feel like they're an invading force. But if they were to just focus on the things that each hero excels at, then they should be able to make crime almost non-existent in both Metropolis and Gotham, because each one, both Batman and Superman, have certain qualities. Now, I'll just put this right out there. Superman, he has abilities that Batman doesn't. But you also have to remember this. Criminals know Superman. Criminals know that Superman is not going to, he's only going to injure him, and to a certain point. There's a reason why criminals fear Batman, because they don't know what he's going to do in the DCAU. Even at that point, like, he has that level of he's in the villain's mind that much. They don't know what he's going to do, and that's why they are afraid of him. Now, earlier in this video, I did make a mistake. The criminal in the Batman Superman movie that left Gotham. He left Gotham because Joker muscled in on the territory, and he didn't want any parts of that. But still, if you leave Gotham and dealing with Batman, and they all know Batman's not bulletproof because they shot at him enough times and he's dodging bullets. They know he's not bulletproof. They know Superman is bulletproof. So you are leaving Gotham for someone you could potentially take out, and you're going to Metropolis because you think you got a better shot at doing things. And also remember, at the same time, they're thinking that they also don't want to put up with the Joker. And it's just but still though, it just says something when a criminal would rather go and deal with somebody who has all these fantastic powers, super strength, nigh invulnerability, heat vision, instead of dealing with Batman. And you also got to remember, Superman's weakness to kryptonite is not privy information that even the highest crime organizations know. Only certain people with a high intellect in the DCAU know of Superman's weakness to kryptonite. To leave Gotham to go ahead and try to deal with Superman, it just says something right there that you don't want to mess with Batman. But if they were, I'll stand on this, if they were to switch cities for 6 months and be proactive and deal and do what's best and stick to their skills that they are good at doing. Batman, when it comes to his investigation, being able to predict criminal elements' movements, putting the fear of the bat into them, and also playing on people's hubris and turning it around on them, just like he did Lex Luthor. He could clean up almost all crime in Metropolis. Now that crime, not people going to cause chaos. So remember what I said, villains like Bizarro, Darkseid, Mongo, Brainiac, they're not there to make it rich. They're there to watch the world burn. Not so much Bizarro, but Darkseid, Mongo, and Brainiac are. I'm talking about crime. So, and also, you flip the coin to Superman. He can deal with all of Batman's rogue gallery, with the exception of the Joker. Clean up all crime because they can't hurt him. He's bulletproof. I mean, he could take anything they throw at him, Superman. So if they were to do that, crime would be non-existent, and they would only have to deal with the agents of chaos. With the Joker, and from Batman's end, and then, of course, what I said before, Darkseid, Mongo, Brainiac, somewhat Bizarro. And you can't even really deal with Mr. Mxyzptlk, because if we're talking about the DCAU, even though Superman's intelligent, Batman is portrayed as being more intelligent than Superman in the DCAU. So if Superman can deal with Mr. Mxyzptlk, Batman can definitely deal with Mr. Mxyzptlk. So that's not an issue. He'll trick him just the way Clark Kent did and have him say his name backwards before he can blink an eyelash, and he's back to his other dimension in no time. So that's why I didn't even mention him on this list. Now, and I know what you think too. What about Rudy? What about the Parasite? Prep time. But once again, what was Rudy's biggest trump card is that he could steal Superman's powers for a limited time. He used to be in the DCAU, not the comics. In the DCAU, Parasite just used to be a security officer. So if he goes to steal Batman's abilities, now I know he'll get the deductive reasoning, the martial arts, but still at the same time, Batman's been longer than doing Batman than anybody else. He'll have some slight difficulty, and then when Rudy's powers start to wane, he's not going to be able to do that again, because Batman will be able to stop him. That's why it's not so much of an issue. But I could be wrong about this. If we bring up something in the comment section, research it, and I'm wrong, I'll do a video on that and correcting everything. But I stand on this. If those two switch cities for 6 months in the DCAU, they would definitely clean up. Now I know they'll take such of an approach that they will only go so far because they don't want to become the justice lords. But I think it's something worth looking into. Tell me what you think about this. Like, share, and subscribe if you feel like it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.